welcome to the Beneath the Dirt podcast. I'm your host, Bone. Thank you for tuning in. We are at episode 110 of the show. God damn. Time goes by fucking quick. 110. And we all up in here. Live in effect. Getting the levels right in my headphones. Couldn't hear myself speaking there for a second. But much love to everybody that's tuned in. Stays tuning in each week. Much love. And I gotta say, last week, I don't know what it was, but numbers was down across the board for the episode. Probably because it was called Wasteland and some motherfuckers don't like Ouija, whatever. So numbers was down, but love was at an all-time high last week. And everybody that sent love my way last week, right back to you. You know, much fucking love. Is much that's the shit that keeps me going. Love it. And shout out to fucking everybody tuned in. A lot of new music this week. A lot of music from dope artists this week that we got to run through. Unlike last week, we were slow as shit. On the news front, we got, a couple more stories than last week. Music-wise, definitely more. Let's get into some new music. This week, we'll start out with one that we talked about last week that was going to be coming up, and it dropped this week. Bukshot, featuring Twiztid Insane. Bleed is out now on all streaming platforms. I bumped it in the pre-production for the show. It's not a bad track. Twiztid Insane is on the hook on here. Twiztid Insane is the shit. Shout out to Bukshot. That is out up on all digitals right now. And speaking of Bukshot, this dude been teasing this project right here with Kung Fu Vampire. I'm confused. I thought they were going to be dropping a single. They were saying midnight on Thursday. Last Thursday, they were saying at midnight some shit was going to happen. I thought a single was going to come. But it looks like they just released the cover art for the album. Or maybe this is a single, don't shoot me. But this is what they dropped right here. If this is the cover art for the album, it's entitled Don't Get Beat Up. Love it. Cover art's dope. I'm looking forward to it. I fuck with Kung Fu Vampire heavy. And like I said, Bukshot with these collab projects that he puts out are usually fire. And I'm waiting to see if it's jacked beats or all original shit. But time will tell. Bukshot firing the fucking engines back up. Getting ready to drop some shit. And then we got his UGA partner in crime, Boondocks. He had his live stream concert on Friday night. And during that, he announced the release date for Crimson Crow. They said fall 2020 to begin, and then it changed to winter 2020. Well, there it is, December 18th. Boondocks, Crimson Crow, dropping on Magic Ninja. Pre-orders go live this Friday for the album. So if you've been fiending for new Boondocks, even though dude's been pretty busy, I think he dropped it. Was it last year he dropped the EP? The UGA shit. Pretty sure they dropped something last year. Stuff that he's done with Bukshot. But Boondocks, Crimson Crow, December 18th, 2020. Just over a month away from when I'm recording this. So be on the lookout for that. Pre-orders, like I said, this Friday. Keeping it Magic Ninja related. Rapper Red, R-E-D-D, dropped his album on Welcome to the Underground, which is the sub-label of Magic Ninja. The album is Symphony of Sympathy, and it's out everywhere. Hard copies are available. Haven't got a chance to listen to this one yet. I wasn't a fan of the first single that they put out with Boondocks. Not Boondocks, I'm sorry. Blaze. It was on some kind of country hip-hop type vibes. I wasn't really feeling it, although it is catchy as shit. I was bumping some music on YouTube, and that song kept coming up. They just I don't know what the algorithms were, but the algorithms were pushing that Red single pretty fucking heavy on YouTube this weekend. And that shit is catchy as hell. While I don't like it, it is catchy as shit. I could see why they put it out as the first single. I still maintain Blaze's like fucking left field on that track just doesn't fit. But I don't really like the song anyway, so who the fuck am I to say? It is catchy as hell though. I don't like it, but catchy. But rapper Red on the Welcome to the Underground sub label of Magic Ninja, his new album is out now. And speaking of Magic Ninja, Twiztid dropped the second single to the rock album. As of yet untitled, as I believe. We got Revelations, the rap album, dropping on Black Friday. But they dropped the rock album. Not the rock album, the second single to the rock album, Perfect Problem. Not as good as Rose Petal in my opinion, but still a decent track. This one sounds like something I want to hear with the flow of the album. I listened to it once, so I didn't really digest the content, but from what I'm seeing on social medias, people are thinking they're taking shots at ICP again. If they are, oh well, fuck it. The song didn't sound bad. Monoxide on the hook on here sounded really good. I thought this was going to be like predominantly Madrox on this rock shit, but Monoxide on these first two singles is fucking killing it. Killing it on Rose Petal. I love that song. I bumped that shit off. Ton. Love that song. This Perfect Problem, not bad. I want to hear it throughout the flow of an album, though. But it's out now. Perfect Problem. And speaking of Twiztid, Monoxide had a live stream, and he brought up a couple things talking about the Revelations album, or Revelation. I don't know if it's Revelation or Revelations, but the new album dropping on Black Friday, the rap album. I've been wondering where there was a pre-order. One of the things I was going to talk about this week is where the fuck is the pre-order for the Revelation album from Twiztid? Shit's dropping in just a couple weeks, but they're doing it just like Mad Season. Not necessarily a surprise release, although they're not promoting it on social medias. Again, it's only being talked about through Monoxide's live streams. So if you don't pay attention to his live streams, you probably have no idea that another album is coming out, much like Mad Season, where they were just releasing a shitload of singles, and then boom, Mad Season dropped. All those, most of those singles were on that album. Ended up being a really good album. So no pre-orders, but he did verify or confirm Black Friday, the album is dropping. So I'm assuming they're going to have a big ass Black Friday sale, as everybody does. And the album will be available for purchase, and it will be up on all digitals, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, all that shit. Another thing he talked about on his live stream was the album with Ala Zulilu. I can't think of the fucking name. Venomous 5, there it is. Venomous 5 will go back into production within the next couple of weeks. I think he might have said next week, but I'll say a couple weeks just in case. So that got me pumped. I was hoping we were going to get Venomous 5 in 2020, but if it drops, as long as they're working on it, I don't give a fuck. Bring that Venomous 5 project, that shit. Bring in the homie Bad Mind for production on there, please. Or somebody with that kind of style. But Venomous 5 project's coming soon. I'm trying to think of anything else that was noteworthy. I don't think so. From when he talked about on that live stream. Revelations, no pre-orders. It's dropping on Black Friday. Venomous 5 project is in the works. I'm hyped for that. Twiztid, a la Zulilu. God damn, man. I've been... the two tracks that they released, Venomous off the Almighty, which is I like better than Strike, which was off Generation Nightmare. Both are good songs, don't get me wrong, but that Venomous off Almighty is stupid hard. That beat is insane. Monoxide, ugh. one of my all-time, I think it made my top 10 a la Zulu list that I did with Speaky Clout about a month ago. But yeah, I'm hyped for that Venomous 5 project. Let's get into some strange music. We got some news. No music. From what I saw, no music from Strange Music this week. It's kind of weird when you don't get any music from a strange music artist at any given week. But no new music this week, but we did get the announcement. Burns' new album, Sorry for the Mess, December 4th. It's just dropping in just like 2.5 weeks from now. New album from Burns of Mayday, Sorry for the Mess, December 4th. So if you're a fan of Mayday, you're a fan of Burns' solo shit, don't fear because he's dropping in just a couple weeks. That is not the image I was looking for. So we're going to do a little production on the show live. Here we go. That's better. Mad Child's brand new single. I apologize and thank you for bearing with me. But Mad Child dropped his new single, Hard Headed, off his Little Monster EP, dropping, I don't know if there's a release date for it, but it's coming soon. And this single, although still not the kind of production that I want to hear Mad Child rap on, similar to the Narco single that he dropped last week, this beat is better than the one he was rapping on last week, the single. And this is a pretty dope track. I love the artwork that he's got going for all these singles. I love the artwork for the album. Mad Child, I'm a fan. I was saying it last week. I've been listening to Swollen Members for damn near 20 years. I'm looking forward to it. I always peep Mad Child when it drops. It isn't always a hit with me, but Mad Child's that dude. I'm looking forward to it. The Hard Headed single is out now on all digitals. So go peep that shit if you ain't peeped it. I like it better than the single that he dropped last week. Of the 3, 2 are fire. I think there's like 13 tracks on the album. EP, whatever the fuck. And no release date for it yet. But that'll be dropping sometime soon. And then we got some more Saint Dog kind of news. The Suburban Noise, SRH. I don't know if they're the ones that threw this memorial over the weekend for Saint Dog, but they had the memorial. D-Loc was there. Johnny Richter was there. Chucky Chuck, Kevin Zinger. Big Hoss, of course, Saint Dog's brother. They live streamed it on Facebook, on the SRH Facebook, and it was really good. It was really good. Like, just hearing everybody speak highly of Saint Dog. And, it just sucks. This one still sucks. It's never not going to suck. Rest in peace to the OG King, Saint Dog. One of the things that happened during the memorials when D-Loc got up there, and D-Loc seems to be holding a lot of resentment towards Daddy X. He kind of got into Saint Dog, leaving / being kicked out of the group, and he placed the blame solely on Daddy X because of it. He said Daddy X saw all his talent, ended up taking his percentages. It seemed kind of unnecessary during a memorial, not going to lie, but at the same time, he's grieving. We all grieve differently. There's sadness, anger, whole bunch of different emotions you could feel while grieving. And it seems pretty fucking clear that this dude's angry at X for a lot of the shit that went down with Cottonmouth Kings in their history. And, he spoke highly of Saint Dog, talking about how he wrote all the raps, how he was just his sidekick. He's bringing that up again. Chucky Chuck got up there. It was really dope hearing from Chucky. And just a really good memorial that they had, SRH, and everybody that was there. So rest in peace to Saint Dog yet again, blowing smoke rings up there with Pakalika. And then another thing related to the Saint Dog, D-Loc released what appears to be the cover art for his next single, although it has the Cottonmouth Kings logo. The way it's been talked about, it seems like it's going to be a D-Loc solo track. Legends Never Die, Saint Dog tribute. The cover art is fresh. I dig it. Definitely going to be talking about that when that gets released. Definitely be bumping it when it gets put out. I'm looking forward to it. It's dope to see D-Loc staying busy in the studio. You know, I think it was the Suburban Noise page giving props to D-Loc staying busy, saying he's one of the hardest workers that, out there right now. And speaking of D-Loc, now that I'm thinking of it, and Saint Dog and Richter, D-Loc took to his IG stories. It was only on his IG stories, so you may have missed it. But he was wilding out with one of the filters on the IG stories. Pretty funny. It's good seeing him having fucking fun, just wilding out. But he's talking about releasing the OG Cottonmouth Kings demos. It's out there up on YouTube. The OG demo for Bump. If you've never heard it, it's on YouTube. It has D-Loc, Saint, and Richter. On the OG Bump, it's kind of crazy. I wonder, if Loc is going to release these OG demos, I wonder if there's better quality of it. I can't imagine it being that much of a better quality. But it's, the OG Bump is still the same beat that you hear on the Royal Highness album, but it's got a verse from Richter on there. Saint and Loc's parts are pretty much the same. A little bit, there's a few changes here and there that they made for the Royal Highness album. But you got the unheard Richter verse, but it sounds like there's a So High, a Pimp Twist. I can't remember the other songs that he was singing out during the IG stories. Should have took notes, but if he's going to drop those OG demos, sign me the fuck up. Like I said, on Twitter, I definitely want to hear those demos. Saint, Richter, and Loc, fire. The Cottonmouth Ballers, PTB, the P-Town Ballers. Loc's talking about re-releasing the first shirt that they ever pressed up. Maybe they should do some kind of bundle with the shirt and like an exclusive CD with the bundle. That'd be fresh. I'd buy the fuck out of that real quick. But I'd still bump the demos if he just released it digitally as well. Definitely want to hear those old school demos. But once again, rest in peace to Saint Dog, blowing smoke rings up there with Pakalika. And another thing I want to talk about before we get off the whole thing, I'm kind of all over the place right now. But when Loc was talking about Daddy X and placing the blame on Saint's departure on him, it got me thinking, like, where's Bobby B? Where's Daddy X? Why aren't they at the memorial? Like, I can't imagine anybody that was at the memorial would be petty enough to, like, not be welcoming of Bobby B and Daddy X at that. Zinger has always said that he's down to talk. Down to talk. Look at the books. He said it to Bobby B and Daddy X. But why weren't they at the memorial? There was the whole thing with Richter was the only one from the Kings that showed up to Pakalika's memorial, funeral. But like for X to not even pop his head up at this shit is pretty petty, if you ask me. X, I've said it before, I'll say it again. A lot of people blamed Zinger for the fall of Cottonmouth King's Suburban Noise. But who was the one that started that whole fucking thing? Daddy X. And as soon as Daddy X broke off, he got all the masters for the Cottonmouth King shit, solo records, all that. They put out one album under their label, United Family, whatever the fuck it was called, and then shit just disappeared. Like, they were hanging on by barely a string at that point, and that shit disappeared. I placed blame solely on Daddy X at this point for the fall of Cottonmouth Kings and Suburban Noise Records. Like, anger. I was talking about it. People grieve differently. But, like, for me, the anger towards Daddy X for what he did and brought down that whole fucking label and that group, one of my favorite groups of all time, just, you know, I'm not going to sit here and, like, try to talk shit, but I don't fuck with dude. I would never be mad if dude never came back to Cottonmouth Kings Suburban Noise. I always thought Daddy X was the weakest part of Cottonmouth Kings. Say what you want, I don't give a fuck. I think he helped tremendously with a lot of the songwriting and structure of the songs. But him on wax rapping and all that shit was always the weakest part of the tracks. Him doing the punk shit though, and maybe some like kind of like harmonizing singing shit was dope. But like, why wasn't he at the fucking memorial? I don't know. Had to get that out there because I was thinking of it, debating on talking about it. Bobby B, I don't really care so much. Bobby B was dope, definitely as part of the live performance with the cutting and scratches and all that shit, you know. But Daddy X, if dude stays hidden forever, I won't be mad. I'll just put it like that. And I digress off that shit. Let's get into some more new music. Low Key. The Mission Infect General. He dropped the very first single off the Eyes of Parasuva. And I'm going to look it up. I believe it's called Cursed. But I'm going to look it up just to double check. It's called Curse. And he dropped a video with it. It's an animated video, not a live action video, but a dope video nonetheless. And this single is fucking fire. Low Key getting ready to drop the 4th Oracle this Friday, actually. November 20th. The Eyes of Parasuva. And he dropped the Blood of Izu earlier this year. This dude is so fucking talented. And I don't know how more people don't know a dude or don't recognize and acknowledge this dude's talent. But goddamn, this single is kind of more in the vein of The Book of Time. It's not metal oriented or, you know, metal crazy guitars and shit like that, like The Blood of Izu was, which is a phenomenal album. One of my favorites of the year. So I think this dude's going 2 for 2 in 2020. I'm pumped. I got my pre-order in. Low Key is that dude. Talented as fuck. And the single Curse is only on YouTube with the video, but I highly recommend you check out Low Key's shit. Check out the 4 Oracles. Shadowland, The Book of Time, The Blood of Izu, and this upcoming one, The Eyes of Parasuva. Dude is super fucking talented. And then even his conceptual shit like the House EPs, the House 1 and House 2, him just doing horrorcore shit, if that's what you're strictly into, go bump those EPs. Those EPs are amazing as well. His Chameleatic album, like everything this dude does is really dope. Even the cover songs in Candy Corn or whatever the fuck, where he just does cover songs, those were really done well too. Low Key is just super talented. Deserves more eyes and ears than he got now. But I'm hyped for the new album dropping this Friday. And then we got new single from Pouya. Pouya, who became familiar with through Suicide Boys. He dropped a brand new single with Rocky. Rocky is the dude who did the EP with Ramirez earlier this year, the Player's Manual. I know I talked about it heavy when that shit first came out. Another one of my favorite projects of 2020. But Pouya and Rocky dropped It's Over this past Friday, and this shit is funky. This dude, Rocky, I love his singing. I love his voice. The production, I don't know who did the production on this song in particular, but it's fire, really funky. Talking about breaking up with a girl, it's over now. I really dig the track. Not the biggest Pouya fan, but I always check his shit if I can. And this single was dope. Highly recommend you check this single out in particular. The EP that he did with Suicide Boys, Southside Suicide, is fire as well. Peep that shit. Other than that, I'm not familiar with his solo shit, but I did check out this single, mainly because it had Rocky on it, and they killed it. Super dope, funky track. Let's get into some more wicked shit. Darby O'Trill dropped his new EP with Devereaux early last week. Wasn't a Friday release, but he dropped his new EP with Devereaux, like I said, produced entirely. The Remains. The cover art right here is fucking dope. Pretty sure Darby draws all his own cover art. This shit is dope. Haven't got a chance to listen to it. I did listen to Piecemeal, the album that him and Devereaux put out just a couple months ago, I believe. And that was a dope listen. Devereaux's fucking killing it right now. I'm still bumping that Ouija Mac Wasteland album. Like, I'll say this because I was speculating that it might be better than Resistance 2 Hell's Hollow Tape, which was my favorite Ouija Mac album, project, whatever. But Wasteland, the actual album, the third element, has become my favorite album from Ouija Mac. Phenomenal. Production from Devereaux is fire. I will peep this, The Remains, from Darby and Devereaux at some point, but that's out there right now, digitally everywhere. And then we got another new single, just drops. Jarren Benton, he does not promote upcoming singles. He just drops them shits, and them shits is fire, son. This one's Snakes in the Yard. Snakes in the Yard is exactly what you think. Snaky motherfuckers going behind your back, shit like that. The cover art's dope. Kind of reminds me of like some Pokemon shit. But the single is fire. Don't know who produced this one. Jarren Benton has not put out a wax song all of 2020. Put these on a CD and I'll buy it up. Put all these singles out on a CD and I'll buy the shit. But I'm stay bumping it on Apple Music because the shit is fire. Love it. Jarren Benton killing it. Peep that Snakes in the Yard. It's out now. And then we got not really big news, but the main news of the week. ICP officially announced ICP's HelloFresh Holidays. The logo, the artwork, very similar to the Party House Peep Show, which they did a whole month-long stream. Not a month-long stream, but they were streaming throughout October for Holla Wicked. Looks like Big Ballas this year is going down via live stream. Probably at Violent J's house yet again, but I ain't mad at it because all those streams in October were fucking dope, man. I don't care what anybody got to say, but those streams were dope. And if you are subscribed on ICP's Patreon, if you haven't canceled the subscription, one, you were never charged. How do I know? Because I never canceled my subscription. So I wasn't charged for November like they said I wasn't gonna be, which was fresh. I would have been pissed if I was because I forgot to cancel the shit. But I'm glad I didn't cancel it because if you didn't cancel it, you're just going to be automatically charged December 1st for the HelloFresh holidays. If you were not a fan of the House Party Peep Show and you do not want to be streaming or tuning in to this HelloFresh holidays, cancel. your Patreon subscription with ICP before December 1st, or you will be charged. I ain't canceling shit because I enjoyed the October streams, and I can only imagine the December streams is going to be just as fresh. I'm curious to see what they're going to be coming up with as far as shows, topics, and whatnot. In October, they did the ICP historical tours where they visited historical places where ICP rapped about in their music throughout all these years. They had all the ill podcast top fives, the one where they talked about all, mass murderers. They had, what else? They had the talk show, which was really fresh. I'd like to see them bring back the talk show. That'd be dope. Bring back some old school guests of ICP's history, because that was a dope watch. Seeing Tom Dub back in effect with the clowns was pretty funny. But the most entertaining thing of the October shows were those podcasts, the Oddcast podcasts. Definitely bring back those podcasts because those shits was dope. I highly enjoyed listening to Shaggy, Jay, and Jump Steady, just chopping it up. Super dope. Love to see them do that shit again. And of course, they're probably going to do some kind of concert again. The Big Ballers thing. That's what they usually do. Will it be acoustic again? I kind of hope not. Because the acoustic thing, when they first did it at Big Ballers, 2 years ago? They said it was like a one-time thing. I believe they've done it 3 or 4 times now. I hope they switch it up and give us something different for Big Ballers. If they're going to go with the Big Ballers theme, I can only imagine that they're gonna. Why not? It's their fucking annual Christmas event, holiday event. I don't want to offend anybody out there with sand in their vagina, but I'm dumb. But yeah, Big Ballers, I'd like to see them do some kind of live performance in the same vein as like what Twiztid does with their shit, what Tech Nine did with his live performance a couple weeks back, something like that. But like I said, I'll be tuned in. This will be fucking dope. And if they do go acoustic, fuck it. The acoustic shit is dope. I don't care. I'm glad I got to hear a bunch of those songs, performed acoustically. And it was super fresh. And hopefully, this is, another big fingers crossed. We still don't have no pre-orders for Yum Yum Bedlam, the album. The Joker's card is Yum Yum Flower. I don't know why they separated it like that, but it is what it is. So Yum Yum Bedlam is the album. No pre-orders for it. Where the fuck are the pre-orders, right? I ain't gonna fucking stress out too much on the pre-orders until... all right, albums drop at December 25th, November 25th. If there's no pre-orders by the 25th, I'm gonna do I be petty or not? I was petty with Fearless Fred Fury. I did a countdown because I knew it wasn't gonna come out because there was no pre-orders for the shit. And then I was like 1 day until Fearless Fred Fury. And then the day Fearless Fred Fury came, I did a whole new countdown. It was like 118 days till Fearless Fred. To me, it was funny. I don't know if anybody that's listening now was paying attention to my shit back then, but I thought it was funny. Do I be petty again and do some shit like that? Maybe we'll see. I got some time to think about it. Planning on plotting my pettiness. But yeah, where are the pre-orders at? If we don't get pre-orders by the 25th, a month before the album comes out, I'll say it's pretty safe to say the album is not dropping December 25th. I hope it does. ICP is notorious for pushing back album releases and all that shit. But I hope it doesn't get pushed back. I really want new music from ICP. I've been pushing new music from ICP for a minute. So let's get that album out on Christmas on time. And I'll be tuned in for the HelloFresh holidays. 100%. I'm not canceling my Patreon. Excuse me. And I'll be tuned in. That shit was entertaining, and I can only imagine this one will be entertaining, and it'll probably be the same 6650 as the one in October was. All right. Another thing, while I'm thinking about it, the gift bags. Please have the gift bags at least shipped out. At least shipped out from the October streams before the December one starts. Because I can only imagine you're going to offer another gift bag of sorts, maybe a Santa's sack, if you will, of goodies from ICP. Because that's what they do. You know, they love hooking it up with the merch. Still no word on the merch packs from October. I kind of wrote it off from the jump that I was never going to get it, so I'm not even looking forward to it, to be honest. But if I get it, dope. If I don't, then the streams was still worth $66.50 if you ask me. Yeah. Say what the fuck you want, but I hope we get the merch packs, at least have them shipped out by the time these December streams start. Because if you don't, has not a good look, and then there's definitely less hope we be getting our shit. So have them shits shipped out before December. Let's get into a few more new music releases that dropped this week. Run the Jewels came out of fucking nowhere. I didn't see no promotion for this single. No Save Point from Cyberpunk 2077. I think this is some kind of video game or game on your phone or something. It's part of a soundtrack, but new single from Killer Mike and LP, Run the Jewels. No Save Point. It's a good song. I dig it. Is a fresh listen. The thing with Run the Jewels with me is like everything they do is good. But there's not much replay value other than the first two albums. Run the Jewels, the first one, Run the Jewels 2, phenomenal pieces of work. I go back to those all the time, bump those. But then you got Run the Jewels 3 and Run the Jewels 4. Both good albums, don't get me wrong. I highly enjoy both those albums, but I don't go back to it like I do 1 and 2. They put out good shit, but the replay value for me personally isn't there, but it's still good. You know, if that makes any sense. Is it contradictory? Maybe. I don't know. But peep it. The song is dope. I liked it. And keeping it kind of related to Run the Jewels, Aesop Rock, who used to be on Definitive Jux, the label owned by LP of Run the Jewels, he dropped his new album on Rhymesayers. The album is called Spirit World Field Guide. Aesop Rock is dope. His production is amazing. His vocabulary is like second to none. He has the biggest vocabulary in all of hip hop. If you remember that chart from a few years ago. His vocabulary is huge. Haven't got a chance to peep the album, but it's out now. If you ain't got if you want to peep it, peep that shit. I think Aesop Rock is dope. I love his production, like I said. And we got a new album from Stu Bangers and Mr. Liff called Vanguard. That's the name of the group. That's the name of the album. Mr. Liff, I believe, coming out of Boston. Correct me if I'm wrong. Hometown MC, if you will. Same with Stu Bangers coming out of the Boston area. I fuck with Stu Bangers heavy. Watson and Holmes 3 that he dropped with Blackistan earlier this year is amazing. The Cannibal Hulk album that he dropped with Ill Bill last year, super dope. The album that he dropped with Gore-Tex, Final Expenses, just a couple months ago, really dope. I fuck with Stu Bangers heavy. I'm not super familiar with Mr. Liff's work. Haven't got a chance to listen to this album yet either, but I'm definitely going to peep this one out because I love Stu Bangers' production and I fucking support that dude all day. Super dope, talented. but I just want to put it out there and alert you just in case you didn't know. And then the last music song release we're going to talk about this week, Magic Deuce, formerly of Third Shift Entertainment, now of his own Bulger Bloodline Records. He dropped his new single, Grind Time. Dope. Magic Deuce is one of these underground dudes that are heavily slept on. I've been fucking with Magic Deuce since his first album, Irish Killer. And it's funny how I found that dude's album. A homie of mine just had the CD, and he's like, I found this on the fucking side of the road. It's literally just the CD of Irish Killer from the original pressing. And he just found it on the side of the road. We put it in, bumped it. I don't think he was feeling it too much, but I was digging it. He gave it to me. That's how I found out of Magic Deuce. Later became more familiar with him through the horrorcore forums. You remember horrorcore.com back in the day. And when he was on Third Shift and all that. That Irish Killer album, to me, is probably like a wicked underground, wicked shit classic, even though it's not heavily too wicked. There is some wicked shit on there. I love the album. And yeah, new Magic Deuce, go peep that shit. And we're going to do this. We did it last week. We're doing it again. Returning, I guess we can call it a recurring segment of Ask Roan. You suggest what you want me to talk about, and we talk about it. I peeped out the posts on my social medias before the show started. It didn't seem like we got as many replies as last week, but we did get a couple replies, and let's go through it. Let's start out on Twitter. Bushido Evil Ninja replied, Raider Clan Retrospective. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means, so I apologize for that, but I don't know what you're talking about, so I can't give my thoughts on it, anything like that. Let's head over to Instagram. One reply on Instagram, it's the homie Devereaux. Devereaux, Ouija Max producer, replies, what made you want to start your podcast? Shit, that's a pretty good question. What made me want to start my podcast? First of all, let's get rid of the fucking graphic here. What made me want to start my podcast? Back in 2016, I want to say, about 4 years ago. I was watching a lot of Juggalo YouTubers, and there was only a couple at the time. Definitely isn't as many as there are now. And watching these dudes, and then 2017, it was a lot more. And I felt like not only could I do this, but I feel like I could do it better with an unbiased perspective. Now, you could say at times I have been biased, and I probably admit that I have been biased, but I really do try to have an unbiased perspective into everything I talk about on this show. It can be tough at times, but I really do try my best at it. And I felt like there was nobody doing that, being unbiased. 2017, everybody started taking sides. And this is ICP Twiztid. Everybody was taking sides in that shit. And I'm like, dude, there's literally nobody. There was literally, and there's still, besides me, I'm trying to think of other people off the top of my head. I know Echo Side Fiend keeps it pretty neutral. I can't really say, because a lot of people just, even if they still like one or the other side, they tend to lean towards one side more than the other. Like I said, you can make that argument for me, and you pointed out, I could probably agree at some points, but like I said, I try to keep it down the middle, and there was nobody keeping it down the middle, showing love for both sides. And I felt like that was a space missing in this scene. because you got the fuck ICP crowd and you got the fuck Twiztid crowd. Fuck that. I love both. I'm here to celebrate both, so let's do it. So I felt like there was a spot missing in this scene for that. Where why can't we just celebrate both? Why can't we just continue liking both? You know? I get it. People pick sides, whatever. You know, mommy and daddy split up. And you got put in the middle of it. And that's what really happened. You know, the fans got put in the middle of it unfairly, is what it is. But that's what made me want to start the show. On some braggadocious type shit, I felt like I could do it better than anybody. Doing it down the middle, doing what I do. You have to have the confidence in yourself. You have to feel like you're the best at what you do to do what you do. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I am a humble guy. 100%. I appreciate all the fucking love because I ain't shit without the love from everybody that tunes in. But I do feel like I'm the best at what I do. But that's why I started the podcast. I was heavily influenced by Joe Budden, Joe Rogan. I was heavily listening to them. I listen to more Joe Budden than I do Joe Rogan these days, but I'm like, I can do this, and let's get it. Dope question, Devereaux. Really, really dope question. Let's head to Facebook. Facebook, Richard Coltes. Hope I'm saying that right. He replies, speaker box or the love below. I can't pick one because I'm still diving into the Outkast discography. I've only got up to Aquemini so far. The first 3 albums I've got through. I love all 3 of those albums. I got to get into Stankonia next, and then the Love Box, Speaker Below, or the Love Below and Speaker Box, dyslexia. And so yeah, I can't answer it, but I can say I fucks with Outkast. I love Outkast. And then we got a message from HMWKZ Squad. They write, you told us about your CD collection. Okay. All right, let me try to decipher this because it doesn't make too much fucking sense. Could you tell us about your CD collection, the most valuable pieces, the covers you love the most, how many music genres you have? My CD collection. All right. If you don't know, up on my YouTube, I have an ongoing series of my CD collection where I show off my CD collection. I have done like my Twiztid CD collection, ICP, Isham CD collection. I think I did Cottonmouth Kings. And then I kind of branched towards like, all right, I'm just going to show off all the new shit that I buy. So all my CD collection videos, probably in the last year, have been just all the new releases of CDs that I bought, that I purchased. Most valuable pieces, probably all the hard to find out of print shit, a lot of the no limit shit that I've got into in the last year that I bought. Definitely the Isham Manada's OG pieces, CDs that I got. Some of the old ICP shit, OGs, the Basement Cut CDs, Dog Beats. I'm looking at my CD collection right now. Some of the hard to find Twiztid shit, the old HOK stuff, Half Breed. 3-6 Mafia is pretty rare these days for some reason because it's out of print. The old PLR releases, Sabak, Sabak, Gore-Tex, Ill Bill. So those are probably some of my more valuable pieces. You can see in the background if you're watching the video of this, the Judgment Day box set, the Nadas box set. That's not rare. You can still buy that, but definitely the Judgment Day box set has the Judgment Day CDs. So that's a good question as well. So shout out to that person. How many music genres? I listen to damn near everything except country. I just can't get into country music. I listen to the hardest of hardcore hip hop, gangsta shit, to some conscious shit a little bit, not much. Pop music, Justin Timberlake, rock music, heavy shit from like Unearth, 100 Demons, Caliban, Bleeding Through to fucking Slipknot, Old Korn, Metallica, Pantera, Alice in Chains, Deftones, stuff like that. So mostly what I listen to and most of my collection is rap and hip hop. But I do got a decent amount of rock music in there and a little bit of pop music sprinkled throughout. So another dope question. And we're going to keep that as a running segment throughout the weeks. So if you have a question, be on the lookout for the post on all my social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that. If you got a question, if you got a topic you want me to talk about, just be on the lookout for those posts. I post about it about an hour or two before I record the show. So you got, from the time you see that post, you got a little bit to get your question in or topic in, and I will discuss it and I will shout you out on the show. I should point that out on my social medias. But much love for everybody that's tuned in. This is episode 110. Much fucking love. I appreciate it. Y'all are the fucking shit. And I'm Jarren Benton of the Beneath the Dirt podcast. Be on the lookout for a new CD collection coming very soon. Jarren Benton of the Beneath the Dirt podcast. I'm out. Peace.